For years, the narrative around artificial intelligence has been dominated by one simple equation: more compute equals more intelligence. If you want a smarter model, you need more GPUs, more data centers, and a budget that matches the size of a mid-sized country's economy. This assumption has held true for the last few years. The giants like OpenAI and Google have been spending billions to push the boundaries of what their models can do. But recently, a company called DeepSeek has changed the conversation entirely. They have released a series of models that perform at the very highest levels of global benchmarks while costing a fraction of what their competitors spend. This is not just a new product launch, it is a signal that the architecture of artificial intelligence is shifting from brute force to engineered efficiency, and this shift has profound implications for how we will build world models in the coming years. To understand why this matters, you have to look at how they achieved these results. DeepSeek v3 and its successor v3.2 utilize what is known as a mixture of experts architecture. You can imagine this like a large consulting firm. In a traditional model, every single question you ask is answered by the entire firm, even if the specific task only requires one specialist. This is inefficient. A mixture of experts approach activates only the relevant specialists for a given task. When the model encounters a complex reasoning problem, it routes that task to the specific subnetworks designed for logic. When it handles simple facts, it uses different pathways. This allows the system to maintain high performance without waking up every single parameter in the network for every single interaction. Combine this with another innovation called multi-head latent attention, and you have a system that processes information much more densely. They also employ a technique called DeepSeek's Sparse Attention, which allows the model to focus its computational resources on the most relevant parts of the input data. The result is a model that can reason and plan with capabilities that rival the most expensive proprietary systems available. But the most staggering statistic comes from the training cost. Reports indicate that DeepSeek v3 was trained for approximately $5.6 million. Compare that to the hundreds of millions or even billions spent by their American counterparts on similar scale models. This disparity suggests that the race for artificial general intelligence is no longer just about who has the most money. It is about who has the best engineering. This brings us to the concept of world models. In the field of AI, a world model is not a simulation of the internet. It is a system that understands the physical and logical rules of the world. It predicts what happens next. It understands cause and effect. It allows an agent to plan before it acts. Historically, building these systems required massive parameter counts because the models needed to memorize vast amounts of data to simulate reality. But DeepSeek shows that you do not need to memorize everything if you understand the underlying structure. By optimizing the network topology and using mixed precision training formats like FP8, they have found a way to compress the knowledge required for world modeling without sacrificing the reasoning ability. Now consider the implications for the industry. For the last several years, the ability to build high-performance AI was gated behind the walls of big tech labs. If you were a startup, you were locked out of the arms race. You could not afford the infrastructure. You could not afford the data. DeepSeek has disrupted this dynamic by releasing open-weight models. This means the architecture and the weights are available for anyone to download and run. This creates a democratization of high-performance AI. Startups can now build upon these foundations without needing to train a model from scratch. They can focus on the applications and the specific world modeling tasks that their business requires. There is also a geopolitical layer to this shift. The research indicates that Chinese startups are leveraging non-Western supply chains and novel training paradigms to challenge U.S. dominance. This forces global competitors to reevaluate their cost structures. If the U.S. giants continue to rely on scaling laws that require exponential increases in compute, they risk becoming less agile. The race is moving toward architectural efficiency and data quality. This means the future of world models will likely prioritize integrated perception reasoning loops. We are seeing a rapid convergence of text, vision, and reasoning capabilities into unified frameworks. This suggests that the next generation of agents will not be specialized silos. They will be generalists that can see, read, and think in the same loop. However, there is a caveat to this optimism. While the engineering breakthroughs are well documented, the precise trajectory of how these models will evolve into comprehensive world models remains partially undefined in the available literature. Some technical reports cut off before detailing the full scope of this frontier. We know the models are efficient. We know they are powerful. but the exact path from a high-performing language model to a full world model that can navigate complex physical environments is still being explored. This uncertainty is where the next phase of innovation will happen. It means that while the foundation is solid, the building process is still being written. So what does this mean for the future? It means that the barrier to entry for building advanced AI is lowering. The monopoly on intelligence is breaking. We are moving toward an era where scalable startup infrastructure can compete with the biggest labs in the world. The focus is shifting from pure parameter scaling to architectural efficiency. If you are watching this space, keep an eye on how these open models are adopted. The real test will be whether startups can build reliable world models on top of these efficient foundations. The technology is there. The cost is there. The question now is who will build the future with it. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.